This is Lisa from Mobile Tech Review, and this is the LG Fathom Windows Mobile Professional 6.53 smartphone that's going to be available on Verizon. This is one of the first Windows Mobile 6.53 devices on the market, period. And it's not a whole lot different from just regular Windows Mobile 6.5 that you've seen on, say, the HD2, the LG Expo, and others, but it moves a couple of the UI items down here, makes them a little bit more finger-friendly. So the start menu is down here now. Gone from up here. You have a quick link to contacts, and then here, quick setting for alarm clock in the home screen. And in some of the other applications, you'll see large tabs, either top or bottom, replacing the teeny tabs that we used to have to try to make it a little bit more finger friendly. Other than that, the Fathom is a very vanilla Windows Mobile phone. It doesn't have any of those LG UI customizations that we saw in the LG Expo on AT&T. Not much of anything except for a couple of settings for the ambient light sensor and for the accelerometer, which you can enable and disable. Even when the accelerometer is disabled on this phone, it does work in IE and in the pictures and videos application, so it's not wholly necessary. In fact, it can be a little bit annoying to leave it on otherwise. So you can always switch orientation by opening it up to show the large QWERTY keyboard here. This is a 4-row keyboard. You get a dedicated number row up top, the D-pad on the right, similar to the LG Ally. And you do have to hit the function key to get things like the period and the comma, which is a little bit unfortunate. We're going to take a look at this next to LG's Ally. So the Ally here runs Android, but otherwise the hardware specs are quite similar. 800 by 480 displays, 1 GHz Qualcomm Snapdragon CPUs. So there you have it. This is not the most beautiful phone we've ever seen on the market. It has a kind of brushed finish here, which actually is good for filing your nails. Here we've got 3.5mm stereo jack, your volume controls, and the USB port here, which is also used for the headphones. There's the back, which has a kind of stippled pattern in the plastic. The 3.2 megapixel cameras up here. You got a flash, speaker, and it does have a resistive screen, so if you want to, you can use the stylus, which is really brilliantly hidden, given how little space there is to work with inside this phone. Got your camera button here, micro SD door there. So that's the hardware. Obviously call, send, and end buttons, and yet again the Windows Start menu key over here, which brings up your programs. So those of you who are familiar with vanilla Windows Mobile 6.5 or 6.53, in this case they look the same, this is your programs launcher right here. Though this is a resistive display, it feels a lot like a capacitive display. They did a wonderful job with this, and it's very responsive to finger touch. However, there is no pinch zooming since this is a resistive display, so you're stuck with hardware zoom in, zoom out functionality via keys or via on-screen controls and things like your photo browser and your web browser. It's the standard Office Mobile on here. There's Internet Explorer. Sorry, there is no Opera. Your PIM apps are standard for Microsoft products also. Email, including Exchange email support with Direct Push. Bing for search. No surprise there, it's a Microsoft product. The standard pictures and videos. Got Adobe Reader LE, the Windows Marketplace, which isn't a bad thing actually. There's a pretty good selection of apps up there. Not going to compete with the iPhone or Android, but it's getting there slowly. MSN weather widgets here. Calculator, usual active sync for syncing. You can sync over USB with this. That seems to be a dying art these days with a lot of phones moving over to cloud syncing. For example, the Palm Pre and Android. So you can still sync to Outlook over USB with this on Windows computers. You will need third-party software if you want to sync via USB to the Mac. So you can get an idea of what standard Windows Mobile looks like if you're not already using it. There's the calendar application. It's pretty bare bones, quite small fonts. This is a 3.2-inch display, which means that your resolution is really packed in and fonts are small. There are adjustments in many applications to change font size, though. And if you want to create a new appointment, You can see here the new finger-friendly menus. So you can choose new appointment, and copy and paste, and various things like that. So that's what it looks like if you want to create a new appointment. And considering that you probably want to use the hardware keyboard to do this more quickly, that's what it looks like in landscape view. So you just want to enter it quickly. There is a software keyboard on screen here, and this is LG's little custom keyboard. And you do have XT9 options as well. This has only IE Mobile on it, as we mentioned. You can add your own third-party browser if you actually want to purchase a copy of Opera, for example, or some of the other web browsers that are available for Windows Mobile. We suggest you might want it because IE is not the world's most exciting web browser, though they have improved it, and it does do Flash. We'll take a look at Internet Explorer, which you can access from the front, and we're actually looking at a post on our website right now. Again, you can see the accelerometer works even if it's turned off when you're in IE. So you can scroll around. There's a big old flash video here and some very large images. IE does not do the best job of using high-resolution displays, unfortunately. We are viewing this in desktop mode. So here's a flash video that's embedded in this review of an iPad game. And we're using IE's own flash player to watch it. Unfortunately, it's not scaling down to fit the screen size. But the performance isn't actually bad at all. It helps to have that 1 gigahertz CPU. And this is streaming over Verizon's eVideo connection. It says eVideo Rev for fast data. So, as far as mobile flash goes, that's actually pretty good, what we're seeing here. The LG Fathom comes with VZ Navigator for turn-by-turn spoken navigation and directions. Of course, you can also use Bing for free basic location information as well. So here we are in VZ Navigator. As you can see, it downloads the map data pretty quickly. Provides good spoken turn-by-turn directions. It also provides weather, your current location, and a good POI database. You can see the weather. You can search for places. You can navigate to and from. Just enter the address here. And if you want to search for something, you can search by these categories here to make things a little bit quicker. So that's VZ Navigator. Of course, you could also download Google Maps and install it on the phone. The Fathom is a CDMA phone that works on Verizon's network, as you'd expect, and it's also a GSM World phone, which means it's a dual-mode phone, so you can take this overseas and use it with a SIM card. We'll take a look at that in a minute. So here's the on-screen dialer. It's pretty large and easy to use. You've got call history up top here, access to your contacts, and so on. So here's the back of the phone. This is the 1500 milliamp battery, which is a pretty good battery. And if you want to access the SIM card slot, there it is. It comes with the Verizon Vodafone SIM card already in place. It is locked to Verizon Vodafone for use overseas. Here on Verizon's network in the US, the LG Fathom has good voice quality. Outgoing voice quality is very good, in fact, and incoming voice quality is also good, though you do get some feedback of your own voice, some local echo when the volume is set a bit higher. But it's nothing that terrible that we're complaining about. So that's the LG Fathom on Verizon. It will sell for $149 after rebates and all that good stuff with a 2-year contract. It's not a bad phone at all, but honestly, unless you need the world roaming capabilities, there's just nothing that's that compelling about it. The physical design is not to die for, and Verizon has so many excellent phones on their network, including LG's own Ally, that vanilla Windows Mobile just looks awfully dated, I'm afraid to say. But if you're a Windows Mobile person, it's certainly a viable choice. It does have a pretty good QWERTY keyboard, and again, it has that world roaming. So that's the LG Fathom on Verizon. Visit Mobile Tech Review to read our full review.